Hello my friends, and welcome to Homestead Tessie. And today is Friday, and that means another heart to heart. I hope you enjoy my talk on living the ultimate frugal life and lessons I've learned in the last 2 years. So stay tuned. Years ago, when we moved to this homestead, we had one goal and one goal in mind, and that was to live an ultimate frugal life. In the past, you heard me say things like alternate energy life or off-grid life, and while all of those terms represent me, they're not exactly what I am all about. And the ultimate frugal life was a term that really just transpired my life, and so I use the term ultimate frugal life because I'm not off-grid and I don't have fully alternate forms of energy here at the homestead. So I go by the word ultimate frugal life. 7 years ago we decided when we were going to move onto this little property, this 1-acre lot, we were going to transform it into a small homestead where we were going to live the ultimate frugal lifestyle. And we did that for 5 years. And then 2 years ago, a need was met by my son moving back home. And while so many of you do not understand fully that my son lived on his own for 7 years. My son wanted to come home for 2 years so he could save some money and didn't have as much of a cost. And he was going through a really hard time in his life, and so we welcomed him with open arms. But we were empty nesters before he moved back, and I realized that that was going to have a lot more work on my end. And so a few things we decided to skimp on, and so we had the microwave, and we used more of the electricity and the lights, and we did more of things like that, but only to make things a little easier for me. When you live this lifestyle, especially with our lifestyle of hand hauling water out and all the canning and all the cooking from scratch and not having a TV and all of those things, it is a lot of work. But one thing I learned, that when an emergency comes and more people are added to your home, it becomes a real heavy burden. So I would recommend all of you who want to live this lifestyle to keep those ideas in mind, that in times of turmoil and things may not be settled, you may have more people coming to live with you. And that was something that I learned. And the more people that live with you, the harder the work is. So after my son moved out, which was just last weekend, I decided to go back to the old ways, and we really missed some of the things that we did back years ago. And one of those things were getting rid of the microwave, getting rid of the freezer, not having the TV, and not having all of the appliances that a modern home would have. And while that does take a little more work, the peace is so rewarding. Our home is quiet, and our home is peaceful, and we don't have a lot of expense in our home. But to try to keep that lifestyle with someone who doesn't understand it would be just a real more of a burden. And so we felt for those 2 years to let our son, have his modern appliances and his air conditioner and his TV and his Xbox and his PlayStation and his laptop and his computer and his iPad and his stereo system. We don't have any of that here on our homestead. So it was quite a difference when all of that left our home. And so you heard me saying I'm doing this and I'm busy doing that. And those were the things that I was busy doing. I'm excited to get back to having the oil lanterns all the time. I'm excited to get back to having just the peace of not having TVs on and big stereo systems playing and movies playing and things like that. And while having my son home for 2 years has been a real blessing, he has grown a lot and he's learned a lot, and it was a time of healing for him. We were all very excited when he found someone special and got married over the weekend, and we are very happy for him at age 29 to have his own home and to be able to create his own memories with his wife. So this heart to heart is just sharing with you a little bit of some upcoming videos and just a little bit of where I'm at today and how I seem to have more energy. People had said, well, Tessie, since he's gone, you have more energy. And while I may appear that way, I am very tired because I did a lot of things right away. I'm the kind of girl that it's either all or nothing when I am doing something. And when I have something on my mind, I got to get it done. I'm not the kind to think about it a whole lot. I'm either let's get it done or let's not do it at all. And that's how I've always been. So you are seeing me sitting in my old pantry. And tomorrow's video is going to be on this room. And Sunday's video is going to be on the new pantry. But it's such a peaceful place where I'm at right now. But it did take a tremendous amount of work to get where I'm at with it. And it was well worth it. The room that I was sitting in was not cleaned for 7 years since we moved in because it was so full of jars. And so full there was just not much that you could really do a deep cleaning. And so, sitting here, I'm really enjoying this. I could pan this camera out a lot further, but we have a lot of windows and there's a lot of glare. So this is why I'm sitting so close to the camera. Plus, shh, I don't want to tell anyone and show anyone what this room looks like until you see it on Saturday. So living the ultimate frugal life, where are we at now? We have no cable bills. We have no internet bills. We have no bills like a lot of people would have. We have no mortgage bills. You know, we do have our occasional bills that we all have. We do have an electric bill, but we are working on getting that to the bare minimum. And as the weeks went by, you saw my journey and you saw the work that took. And everything in life, when you want to do something different, it takes a lot of work in the beginning. But I'm here to let you know that it's well worth it. Whatever ideas you have in your mind, get up and get doing them. Sitting and dreaming about it is not going to get you anywhere. Try to implement them. And my ideas cost nothing, but cost a lot in manpower and took a lot of physical strength. But I was able to do it, and looking back, I'm so glad that I got off the chair and got it done. Many times in life, thinking about something is the hardest thing to overcome. And if you get that out of your head at first, the work involved is not really that bad. But the mind games are always a lot worse. So sitting here and thinking, how am I going to get rid of my freezer? How am I going to move my jars? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Just made me even more lazier. I decided no more thinking about it. I'm just going to do it. And in the middle of it all, it was a lot of work, and it was extremely overwhelming. I lost a lot of sleep thinking about how I'm going to get this all done. So the last part of this video is, where am I going from here? And that is a really good question. I am finding it a challenge to see how much more money I can save. And so food is going to be a lot less for us. And the electricity is going to be a lot less for us. But where else can we lower our footprint and lower our bills? And those are going to be videos in the future. Because I can't tell you right now exactly all I'm going to do. But I will tell you one thing. It's going to be more of a progression. And that's how life is. So many people in life want to homestead and start tomorrow. You can do little steps, but it takes little steps to get to your ultimate dream. And it doesn't happen overnight. But you got to get up and get started. And I always remind people, if you take anything from my channel and my life, it's this. You can do anything where you're at right now. You don't have to have the homestead. You don't have to have the acres. You don't have to have the things that the larger YouTube channels have. You start where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're on a high-rise apartment building. It doesn't matter if you're way out in the wilderness somewhere. You can do many homesteading skills right where you're at. You can buy bulk food. You can learn to can in a high-rise building. You can learn to cook from scratch. And you can learn to do all kinds of homestead skills right where you're at. Even if you're disabled, you can do all of these things. If you're in a wheelchair, you can learn to can small amounts of jelly, can small amounts of food that you enjoy eating. Even if you are, there is no limitations on saving money and living a frugal life. And that's one thing that we all have in common. It doesn't matter if you have it all as far as solar and wind turbines and all of the money at your disposal, or if you're like me on a very limited income and learning to do things for free or cheap. We can all learn these skills. And so I hope you really enjoy my heart-to-hearts. And my channel is devoted on frugal living. And you are going to see that emphasized in my daily videos, cheap things, frugal things, and things that are free. So I hope you take care, and I can't wait to share with you this journey. And I can't wait to share with you some of my ideas, and some of them may be a little crazy, and some of them just may be something you've never heard of. And I hope you enjoy them, and hey, we're going to have some failures, and I'm going to tell you, because some of my ideas are not always end up being what I think they are. Just for instance, the big long shelf that you seen in front of me had canning jars on it. It was a 5-foot shelf. I rammed that into the house and got it stuck in the hallway, and it took me an hour to get it unstuck and found out it's not going to fit. So I got rid of it, and I figured out what can I do in replace of that. And stay tuned for Sunday's video, because you're going to see how I took all of these jars and moved them to somewhere really special. Take care, everyone, and like I always say, we'll see you tomorrow. And I love you, my brothers and my sisters, and you are all my family. See you guys! Hi everyone! If you like this video, could you do me a favor? Could you make sure you give me a thumbs up or share this video on social media? By sharing my videos, it helps my videos get circulated more. YouTube sees that, and they will share my videos so much more. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!